we've got two types of motivation. We've got the intrinsic motivation and the extrinsic motivation. Now, what's intrinsic motivation? Is the motivation that comes from the inside. It comes out of curiosity. So let's say you want to study a concept because you're just curious. You want to know how the world works. That's why you want to study. Or you are amazed by something in biology and you want to study it and know what it's all about. That's intrinsic motivation. The motivation is coming out of curiosity. And it can also come out of pleasure. You want to study because you feel some sense of pleasure or it's pleasurable studying. That is also intrinsic motivation. And some students have that in various degrees. Some students, they are extremely curious, while some are not that curious. Then some, they study for fun, while some really don't derive that much fun out of studying. Then we've got the other part, which is the extrinsic motivation. This is motivation from external sources. So if I tell you that, oh, if you study this, I'm going to give you this amount of money, that's a form of motivation. It's external, it's extrinsic. Then you have various other forms. It could be monetary reason, it could be for some grade. Let's say I told you if you study hard, you're going to get a very good grade and everybody's going to like you for that. That's also an external source of motivation. So here's how TestDriller address motivation. So we've got two sides of motivation. The first is the intrinsic. You can make somebody curious by the way you design an app. So if the app is designed to inspire curiosity, that can trigger intrinsic motivation. For example, we've got AI Tutor, where students can chat with in real time. By chatting with the AI in real time, the student may just be curious. I want to know what this AI is going to say about this. I want to know what this AI is going to say about this other thing. By just mere curiosity, they get to study, they get to learn, and that is a win-win for both them and for our own objective, which is to make sure they learn. Then we also have the educational game. So aside all the regular features, we have what we call educational game. The goal of that educational game is to make learning pleasurable, right? So we don't just want them to just keep learning stuff in a boring way. We want them to learn in a fun way. And that's what the educational game is all about. That triggers pleasure. And if they learn while having pleasure, that's a beautiful thing. And that's an intrinsic motivation. Now, what about the extrinsic motivation? There are some learners that may need extra push to learn. And one of the ways we achieve that is by introducing what we call the UTME challenge or the SSE challenge, depending on the app that the student is currently using. Okay, now let me talk about the UTME challenge. For UTME challenge, the way it's structured is as follows. Every week, let's say from mid-January, let's say till mid-April, we do have what we call a challenge, the weekly competition where students get to compete for a prize. Now, the way it's structured is every week, at the end of each round, we award students with airtime. That airtime is a form of extrinsic motivation. Even if as a student, you don't feel like studying, but for the fact that every weekend, you're going to get some reward for being among the top 20. That is a very interesting way to motivate them to study and to learn whatever they need to learn to get that award. Then at the end of the UTME challenge, we also award them with 100,000 Naira scholarship award for the top 5 in that UTME challenge. And we also award the top 3 best JAMB using our app as well. So by doing this, we are providing external motivation, enabling them to see reasons why they need to learn. And in most cases, when you provide sufficient external motivation, it turns into intrinsic motivation, because over time, they begin to have pleasure or they begin to see reasons why they need to study without any external motivation. So the external motivation can be a push for them to eventually develop some sort of internal motivation. And TestDriller is designed with that in mind. We're not just providing just resources. We also design the app in such a way that those motivations will drive them to actually start the learning process. Because without motivation, you won't even start. And if you don't start, every other thing you've done will just be a waste. Now, aside what I've mentioned before, we've got specific decisions in the app that influence the way students learn. For example, if I happen to practice over time, if I'm practicing over time, I get to see push notification of my best result. Each time I show you your best, a notification that you've got a new best score, it serves as a kind of motivation. So imagine I took maths today and let's say my best score is 60%. and tomorrow I took math and my best score happens to be 70%. Immediately I submit, I get a push notification telling me that, hey, you've got a new best score in this practice experience, or you've got a new best score in math. And by me telling you this, you get excited because now you've got this, you look forward to the next notification telling you that, oh, you've gotten maybe to 80%, 90%, and so on. So all of these push notifications, they're intentionally designed to inspire or to motivate the student to aim for higher score. And that's intentional because in psychology, it's a form of motivation. And this motivation is very, very powerful. In fact, it is the motivation you see in gamers. When you see somebody playing games all the time, you ask, why are they doing this? They are doing this because they want to get the best new score. They want to get the best new score. And that is the motivation behind why they keep going back. And we've adopted this kind of psychological gimmicks into our app to motivate students to keep coming back and keep beating their old score. And that's how we use motivation in developing the TestDriller app.